Presenting our officials of this match. First referee, Ms. Joy De Imus, Asian International Referee Candidate. Second referee, Mr. Mark Santos, National Referee. Now let us meet the starters. First, for Akari Chargers. Let's start with number 4, their guest player from USA, Yoluma Okaro. Jersey number 5, Rachel Sultanes. At number 7, Camille Victoria. Jersey number 13, Celine Domingo. At 16, Ivy Laxina. Jersey number 18, Camille Cal. Starting libero is number 3, Alexandra Wanko. Head coach is Mr. Takayuki Minowa. Now let's call on the Galeries Tower Highrisers. Let's start with jersey number 3, Isabel Jimenez. At number 8, Renee Mabilangan. Jersey number 12, Rosel Baliton. At 13, France Ronquillo. Jersey number 14, Andrea Marzan. At number 19, guest player from Thailand, Chubalin Sudata. Starting libero and their team captain is number 16, Alyssa Eroa. Head coach is Ms. Lerma Quiro. This match is under the regulations and supervision of the Games and Amusements Board. Match number 31, preliminary
The starters
rounds,
for the Akari Chargers. So they will still be beginning with Camille Cal as their setter. Joining Ivy Laxina, Camille Victoria, Sed Domingo, Gretzel Soltones, Oli Ocaro, and Max Wanko as their libero has been starting alongside Danny Ravena. They've been alternating in that libero position. On the other end, usual names for Galeries Tower, Liza Eroa, Isa Jimenez, Rosel Baliton, Ney Babilangan, Sudata Chulim, France Ronquillo, and Andrea Marzan. So we do have extreme stories for today because one team is looking to stay undefeated, the other is looking for its first victory.
That's right. So it's going to be a big challenge, of course, for Galeries, knowing that at this point, Akari definitely has the momentum. They're in higher spirits, being ranked number 1. They haven't dropped a single match. They've only lost 6 sets here in the entire tournament so far. On the other hand, the Galeries have only won 6 sets. So this is really quite interesting.
Although Galeries has had a lot of close sets so far in our tournament, so we have to honor that. And even the sets that they won, 3 were extended sets. The other one was by 2 points, not necessarily extended, and the other 2 were by 3 points. It's been that close for the Highrisers.
So it's really more of the finish. So that's what they're looking for, because they can really give their opponents a hard time. So it's just really how they're able to sustain that.
Finishing, by the way, hasn't been a problem for Akari on the other end because they have had 2 reverse sweeps in their campaign as that attack by Ronquillo sails outside.
And what's also interesting here for both of these teams, Akari is, if you look at the statistics, Akari belongs to the top teams in the scoring with the scoring skills. While Galeries, you may not see them in the top statistics for the scoring skills, but in all of the non-scoring, they're actually ranked higher than Akari. So they're better in digging, they're better in receiving, they're better in setting. So this is going to be very an interesting matchup.
Could it be offense and defense as
that's right.
the theme of the game? Although the Chargers, by the way, we have to credit them for their net defense. They're number 3 in the league in blocking. Nice to see by Wanko. Back set onto Victoria, who couldn't score. There's some scramble for Galeries. Counter for Akari. They send it to Ivy. Laxina is blocked. Great effort by Oli Ocaro. And this is a chance ball. Eroa. Mabilangan onto the middle. That's a point for Andrea Marzan. And now we listen in to Kyla Castillo.
With her high energy and contagious bungis-ngis, Max Wangko has been a breath of fresh air for the Akari Chargers. She says that she's really thankful for Coach Taka giving her a chance to prove herself. Now, for a team who's sitting at the top of the standings right now, kwento ni Max, maniniwala ba kayo na noong preseason daw ay hindi man lang sila nakumpleto sa training? Hirap pa nga raw makabuo ng 6. Pero itong chemistry na nakikita natin sa kanila ngayon ay nabuo over intentional team bondings at some gipsal trips. Enjoy premier volleyball experience when you download the Pilipinas Live app. Available now for only 149 pesos per month. Now back to you, Ivy and Neil.
There you have it. Double timing for Akari to get things together, to build their chemistry, not only on the court, but apparently while eating lunches and dinners.
Yun nga, di ba, food really brings people together.
Yes.
So, napabilis dahil samgyup pa ang kanilang bonding.
Pero Ivy, mahirap yung hindi ka makakabuo ng 6 sa practice.
That's right. Because, you know, in a sport like volleyball, really, it's about chemistry, it's about teamwork. So it's really about getting everybody together and not just the 6 that you're using. It's everybody, even those at the sidelines right now.
Now it is Oli Okaro scoring from that back row right angle. Conference high was against Choco Mucho. It was against her best friend in Zoe Faki after scoring 38 points. But now there is a rotation error by the Chargers. They'll have to clear it out.
Yeah, it's a free point now for Galeries. Of course, they would take that any day.
Let's allow them to fix it first before we proceed. Andrea Marzan has a big smile on her face. She's been stepping up as a middle blocker in this conference. Had 12 points in their opening game.
Serving for
9 points versus Creamline and 12 versus Cherry Tigo. Those were her best scoring performances so far. Pabilangan going to the right. Ronquillo, is there a touch?
There seems to be a touch, yes, and the point is given to Galeries.
5-3.
Good start for the Highrisers. 5-3, and there's coach Lerma Hiron, a former libero herself. There's the current center of Akari
for the
Camille
serve.
Cal. Marzan, service out.
Service out. +1, Akari.
It is 4-5. Full front line for Camille Cal. Cal came off the bench in the first couple of outings for Akari, but she's been a consistent starter ever since, and she has developed her chemistry truly with Oli Okaro. There it is, the connection for Akari, right on cue.
Hit. Oluma Okaro.
This spike of the set is brought to you by Dunkin, ang pasalubong ng bayan.
Excellent hit. Cross-court hit. That was really very sharp. You know, you're already in position, but you feel na, you know, you're gonna get the ball, and all of a sudden it comes short. That's how deep the attack is.
Isa Jimenez able to outsmart the defenders of Akari.
Point goes to Galeries.
At the start of this conference, there was a bit of confusion when it came to the wing spikers of Galeries. They had Jewel Encarnacion in the mix. Of course, Sutata Chua Lim came off the bench in their first match because she did come in late, just a day before the conference started. But now, this is their big 3, with Ronquillo at opposite, Sutata at the open alongside Isa Jimenez. It is 7-5 off of another point by the Highrisers. This is Ronquillo. Service in. Wangko receives. Cal onto the middle. Domingo couldn't score. Eliza sends it to the left. Isa Jimenez. That was quite low. It's a point for the black shirts.
Block is in. Point for Akari.
So this is so far so good though for the Highrisers. So they've kept the lead and they're keeping it close. Akari is playing catch-up here.
There's a challenge on the call by Galeries Tower.
Okay, now Galeries will challenge. It's in or out off of that hit by Jimenez. She was blocked. Ball returned to their side. Now we shall find out which team will get the point. Yeah, that's in.
Ball is in.
Good call by our referees. That's going to be a block point
Ball is
for
in.
these Chargers.
Challenge is unsuccessful. Galeries Tower is now left with one challenge for set number 1.
6 serving 7. Ivy Laksina doing the honors for a potential
Serving for
deadlock.
Akari, Ivy, Laksina.
Laksina is their second leading scorer behind Oli Okaro in this conference. Ball up by Sutata, and this is Jimenez going cross. Great save by Ravenna. Ball sent through. Mabilangan recalculating. Baliton with some hang time. Saltones will give up a free ball. A lot of time for Ney. Back set, D-ball, straight to the back. And Ronquillo will score.
Ronquillo, back row attack.
That will lead us to our first technical timeout. That is 8-6 in favor of Galeries Tower.
6, Akari Chargers.
We are back inside the Field Sports Arena in Pasig City. This is the first game of our crossover round number 2 in the pool play. Ivy did break down to us that we only have 3 matches for each team moving forward in this round. So everything is ever so important, especially for those at the bottom 4.
That's right. So, you know, I think at this point, everything gets more complicated. So while Akari may be sitting comfortably at the top, you know, they can't be very secure. They can't feel very secured about, you know, being about their position. Although, more or less, we can say, you know, they're safely on to among the top 8. But for the teams at the bottom, so there's really a lot to fight for and a lot at stake at the moment. So like you mentioned earlier, no, it's really going to be perfect volleyball from then on forward, just to make sure that they make it above that line in the team standings.
Right now, Galeries is off to a fantastic start. That is a point for the reinforcement. It's Satata. Reinforcement in the Philippines. It's already her 3rd time in the country, as it is a service error for Isa Jimenez. It is 7-9. The biggest lead was just 3 points. Said Domingo will now be serving. Received by Eroa, and that's going to be an easy point for Gretzel Soltones. Gretzel Soltones, by the way, is the 3rd leading scorer of Akari in this conference. Although she has toned down in terms of getting those points for the Chargers. Satata will not tone down. That's another point for Chua Lim.
10,
Really low and fast sets. That's what she wants. Let's take a look at that once again. The blockers didn't have time to position themselves or even to jump up in that last attack.
So it's different styles as well for our 2 reinforcements in this game. Oli likes higher, slower sets, while it's faster and lower for this woman, Sutata, who's now blocked. And no more save for Franz Ronquillo.
with the block.
Oli Okaro will now be serving for Akari. seems like there's going to be a double
Akari
sub.
Chargers.
Eli
4 out,
Soyud will
6
check in alongside
foul.
Mitch
In.
Cobb.
18 out. 24, Soyud. In.
Mitch Cobb was the initial starter at that center position for Akari in this conference.
Serving team captain. Michelle.
The captain of the Chargers sending that ball inside. That was sharp. Chulim sending it through. Tough save for Soltones. This is a chance ball for Galeries. Eroa, Mabilangan. Great combination there.
Through the block. Chulim Sutata.
Another point here. Let's take a look at that fast and low set. You also have to give credit. Marzan was able to make
Serving
the middle
for
blocker of
Galeries.
Akari
Renee
commit, so just
Mabilangan.
leaving only one defender at the net there for the outside hitter.
Bit of a scramble there for Galeries Tower. Here come the Chargers. They send it to the middle, and I wasn't sure that was what they wanted all along, but it still is a point.
I think that was not the outcome that they wanted from that play. Let's take a look at that once again. That was a bit too low. Yeah, that was...
It's actually a point for Mitch Cobb. Didn't seem like Ezra Madrigal was able to hit the ball. Ronquillo blocked. Coverage present. Eroa sends it back to France. Unable to score. Push to Ivy. Laxina, that was long.
Ball is out.
Just trying to go for fingers and trying to go long.
That's error number 2 for Ivy Laxina in this game. Just saw Coach Minoa of Akari. They're looking for answers against this 2-point deficit. Sutata, service inside, received by Gretzel. Laxina blocked. That went out.
Off the block. Ivy Laxina.
Was a good block by Ronquillo, but that went out.
Is 11-12. Isa Jimenez going cross. And a missed dig by Ezra Madrigal.
Off the hands of Madrigal.
The Highrisers doing well so far. They managed to keep the lead here. Once again, they're up by 2-13, serving 11.
It's the second point of Isa Jimenez. He's tied with Franz Ronquillo's 2 as well. And Sutata is their leading scorer with 3. Wanko receives. Cobb. Tough set. It's Eli Soya dropping the ball. It almost worked. Free ball for Akari. Back to Eli. Down the line target. Great defense by Marzan. Another free ball. It's Ivy Laxina. Great approach.
Through the block. Laxina.
Laxina off the block.
Substitution. Akari Chargers. 6
That will be
out.
point number 3 for Ivy Laxina.
24 out. 18 out.
Second leading scorer of Akari, just behind the 4 of Oli Ocaro, who's now back in the game alongside Camille Cal. Is 12, serving 13.
Serving Camille Cal.
Service in, Eroa, not the best of receives. This is a chance for Akari. Cal, recalculating to Ocaro. What a beautiful hit.
Ocaro with a cross-court hit. And
We're now tied 13 all. Let's take a look at that hit once again. Flying high. Ocaro once again with a point.
Cal.
This is to break the deadlock. Mabilangan, back set onto France. Gretzel saves it. It's Ocaro once more. Ball up by Sutata. It's Franz Ronquillo, blocked. Coverage by Ney. Eliza sends it to the left. Nice. Net defense by Akari.
With the block.
Good anticipation on the side of Akari.
Galeries, France.
Lidon has had a couple of good blocking games for herself in this conference already, including 3 versus Next Led and 3 versus Farm Fresh. It's a push to the open. Laxina straight onto the back.
Ivy Laxina. 15, serving 14.
That is point number 4 for Ivy Laxina.
Akari. 16 out. Marciano in.
We have a service specialist in for the Akari Chargers, Janine Marciano, who used to be one of the better scorers in this league.
That's right.
Janine Marciano serving for Akari.
She's been bothered by a couple of injuries, but we're happy that she is still in our beloved PVL. There's a drop by Akari. It was read well by Galeries Tower, said Domingo. Counter. Jimenez, yes.
Through the block. Jimenez.
Good hit by Jimenez, and Coach Norma in the earlier timeout was mentioning that they've been given a lot of free balls to Akari, so giving of course Akari a lot of opportunity to set up their plays. But that last attack from the Highrisers was well executed. Good
15
block.
all. Camille Cal to the open. Soltones, that was quite tough in terms of the angle. Will that go through? Yes, it did, but there's going to be a net touch.
There's a net touch called on Okaro.
Galleries continuing to have the advantage here, 16 to 15, as we approach our second technical timeout.
On top, 16-15.
Gilas Pilipinas continues its journey in the second window of the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers this November. Watch the games live at the Mall of Asia Arena. Get your tickets via smtickets.com. Hashtag Laban Pilipinas. You're inside the Field Sports Arena in Pasig City. There's RJ Duromal for Galeries Tower. She's resting in this game, taking care of her knee. But Isa Jimenez is active, and she will be serving with 3 attack points so far.
Isa Jimenez.
Service inside, Wanko with a receive. It's Okaro able to score from the opposite.
Okaro.
And pretty much we expect that Okaro would be scoring a lot heavily here for Akari.
That's 4 attack points already in this game for Oli Okaro. She approached this matchup with 123 points to her name. That's a service error for Sed Domingo. Remember, our Pilipinas live poll question concerns which team will serve better in this match.
Right, because both of these teams actually very close in terms of team standings with the serve. Akari is ranked 6 and Galeries is ranked number 7. So that would be really interesting to see.
So far, we haven't seen a service ace in this game. There you go. It's courtesy of Carly Hernandez, who, by the way, has juggled positions from libero onto open spiker once upon a time. Now she is back onto being a spiker. Also a service specialist in this game. Carly going inside. Soltones. That looked good for the Lady Beast. I asked Gretzel before this game, sinasadya ba talagang hindi ka bigyan masyado ng bola at the first part of the match at sa clutch doon ka nalang bibigyan? Sabi niya, actually, it's really more of parang nagiging emergency option siya. So, if we may be seeing some tough angles for her, she's been getting quite used to it here in our conference. As now, we get to see this point for Galeries Tower. It's Satata Chualim able to deliver the goods.
Change in speed in the last minute.
Service error for Ney Mabilangan.
It's a free point for Akari.
I think that's the third service error for the Highrisers here in the first set.
Substitution.
It is
Akari
18 to
Chargers,
19.
line out.
Ivy
16,
Laxina now returns,
Back in.
replacing Janine Marciano. She will definitely be a big help there at the front row.
Rachel Soltones.
Gretzel Soltones serving. She's number 6 in the PVL so far in serves. It's a drop by Satata, read well. A good chance to counter. Straight onto the back for France, Ronquillo.
It's the line.
Good play there for the Highrisers.
To all of our viewers.
Variation.
Ronquillo. By the way, entering this game, only trailed 1 point to Satata Chulim as the leading scorer of Galeries. Jimenez couldn't score. Camille Cal onto the open. Laxina, beautiful drop.
Laxina with a draw.
She saw that wide opening in the defense of the Highrisers. Everybody was actually at the back end waiting for a strong hit.
Great adjustment by Ivy for her 5th point in this match.
Ezra Madrigal for the serve.
This is a chance to tie. Great net defense by the Chargers. Chance ball given up. Camille Cal to Ivy Laxina. No deadlock as of yet. Another free ball. Camille, same attacker. How about the activity by Galeries? Oh, Alice Roa still keeping it alive. Laxina, another hit straight onto the back. Satata with a dig. Push onto Isa. Jimenez going cross. And here's Gretzel Soltones. Some miscue there. And a beautiful chance for Galeries. It's Ronquillo. Check ball.
There was a touch. Point goes to the Highrisers.
The rally goes to Galeries Tower.
And now Grace Bombita will check in for these clutch moments.
Galeries Tower Highrisers.
Same goes for Rosel Baliton returning into action. Hernandez and Jimenez will sit down. It is 21 to 19. We have a timeout for Akari.
Chargers.
In front of the back of the position 1 and position 2, so maybe sometimes Ori cannot hitting. To prepare back attack in the position 4, you have to get in point. How many you hitting? Approach speed and jump is always matter. You have to make it approach faster and strong. Okay? Make it 1 point.
Up to 20 lang. Up to 20. Oh, bawi. Akari Chargers!
We did share to everybody that Akari's backs were already against the wall for a lot of times at the start of their campaign. So this should be familiar territory for them. Down by 2 points here in set number 1.
Substitution. Galeries. 14-2. Encarnacion.
Well, they've been playing catch-up for the most part of the first set.
Jewel Encarnacion will now be serving for Galeries. This is her first appearance in this game. She actually started for Galeries at the start of their campaign, but now will the substitution be nullified?
Correction. Substitution
Yeah.
is denied.
Substitution was denied.
So Andrea Marzan will be serving.
Barbie Marzan.
And the defense will be tested at the back. You see by Soltones. 1-2 play. It almost worked. Satata will give up a chance ball. Ocaro Cal to the open. Laksina, that was short.
That doesn't cross.
Laksina not able to convert her attacks.
Substitution.
The last time it was actually directed to her.
Encarnacion in.
Now Jewel and Encarnacion will check in. They're up by 3 points.
Jill Encarnacion serving.
The former fighting Maroon, sending that ball inside. Back set, that was tough for Camille Cal. Battle at the net. There's a drop that's read well by Okaro. Back row for Gretzel. Great net defense by Galeries Tower.
On with the block. 23-19.
Galeries with a good lead here in the first set.
Sayuki Minoa trying to figure out some answers that would be useful moving forward for Akari. It's 23-19. Received by Soltones. Running hit, signature, Said Domingo.
Slides and scores. 20-23.
Excellent running hit from Said Domingo. No defense at the net.
Serving for
That is
Akari.
point number 2 for Said in this game. That was her first attack point. It is 20-23. Mabilangan. Back set to France. Dug up by Danny. Camille. Now it's Oli Okaro. No more save for Sadata.
Okaro. 21-23. Timeout.
It's one reinforcement to another. Point number 7 for Oli Okaro. We have a timeout.
Dito pasa natin ha.
Kaliwa, medyo kaliwa. Para mahatak yung
Yung
dalawa
tao
dito.
mo naman, hindi mo binabantayan yung tao mo. Binitawan na ng setter yung bola. Oh, may umiikot na.
Basket.
Di ba? Oh, pasaan muna natin ng maayos ha. Play, ano yun? Play 4. Play 4 tayo. Rosel, kung sino man ang bibigyan sa inyo, idiin nyo yung bola.
May sim sila, may sim sila. Doon pa na. Alright, good. Patay na. Hey, Galeries!
Pasa, Miro, pasa.
The Galeries Tower Highrisers, by the way, even though they haven't won a game in our conference, they won a set versus Streamline. That was pretty convincing. It was actually an extended set number 2. And they've only been swept once. So we can't count them out.
And then, like you've mentioned earlier, they've had a lot of, most of the games are very close, very tight.
2 more points.
You know, so we've
to
seen
tie the
really
score.
what the Galleries can do. So again, it's just more about the finishing. You know, like for this set, they're starting off very strong. They've managed to maintain the lead and almost throughout the first set. We've seen them execute, you know, seamless attacks, and the defense actually for Galleries here in this game is working well for them. They're defending the floor better than Akari.
Well, having Eliza Eroa in that roster alongside Chulim Sadata definitely would help
At the
out.
service zone for Akari.
They're number 2 and 3 in receiving, respectively, in our tournament. Eroa, nice receive there. It's Ronquillo. Scramble forced. Free ball. Sadata, Mabilangan, Ronquillo. Yes, ma'am.
Ronquillo, cross-court hit. Sour now, 7-point advantage.
Remember, the biggest set win so far of Galleries in this tournament is by 3 points. This could be their best so far if they win this next point.
France Ronquillo
And you're winning it
for the
against
serve.
the ranked number 1 team
Yes.
here in this round.
Okaro, great response. Coach Lerma was ready for that second
Okaro
ball.
says not yet.
Unfortunately, she cannot be a part of the action.
24.
Down the line target for Oli Okaro, challenging the defense of Eliza Eroa.
Ivy Laksina serving for Akari.
22-24, Ivy Laksina. Service in, Eroa receives, Mabilangan to the open. Grace Bombita is blocked.
Bombita is denied by Okaro. 23-24. Substitution. Galleries.
That's point number 8 for Oli Okaro.
17.
Now we have a couple of substitutions.
10. Palek.
Fen Emnas is in for the first time. in this game alongside Shannon Palek. Still is a set point for Galeries Tower. Ivy Laksina to try to extend set number 1. Pero a nice receive. Emnas onto the middle. And that's it. Set number 1 belongs to the Highrisers.
Good hustle there for the Highrisers. This is that winning point here for set number 1. Quick attack. Good setup there by Emnas.
So this is the 5th set won by Galeries in this tournament by 2 points. It is 25-23 in set 1. Set number 1 belongs to Galeries Tower versus the Akari Chargers, 25-23. This is the push that they did want after all, beginning round number 2 of our pool phase. Ivy, how were they able to do it?
Well, for one, like I mentioned earlier, Galeries was really defending the floor very well. We've seen a lot of those saves that they've had, one-hand saves. They managed to keep the ball alive. Although they gave out a lot of free balls in the first half of the set, but towards the second half, they were able to execute stronger attacks. They had better plays, and they heeded out the call of Coach Lerman in one of those timeouts. And she really wanted stronger hits, and that's what she got, towards the end of the first set.
We present to you our numbers.
And here we can see that while Akari is 1 point ahead in terms of attacks, they are leading with the blocks. The errors of Akari is actually what cost them set number 1. We've seen a couple of those errors in the attacks and also in the receptions. The net violation error was there as well. But on the other hand, the Highrisers, they managed to keep the errors at bay. And if they're playing up against a strong team like Akari, that's one of the areas, that they really have to be very mindful about, those unforced errors.
The Chargers actually do tend to commit a lot of errors per game. They had 36 versus Capital One in 4 sets. That's an average of 9 per set. 40 versus Chocomucho in 5 sets, an average of 8. 39 in 5 sets versus Petrogas, almost 8 per set.
That's right.
23 in 3 sets. That's almost 8 as well versus Zeus Coffee, and 23 in 4 sets versus Signal HD, almost 6
That's
per
right.
set.
So both of these teams, while Akari, obviously, on paper, on the standings right now is a stronger team, but Galeries, the Highrisers, they have a better ability of minimizing the errors, in their games.
Let's see if they can do much better in set number 2 as we begin here inside the Phil Sports Arena. Camille Cal giving it up to Ivy Laksina with a drop, and that will work.
Laksina gets the first point.
Akari led by 2 points once upon a time in set number 1, but that was way too early. ever since they played catch-up versus these Highrisers. Even trailing by as many as 4. Ronquillo will score from the opposite angle, and now we turn you over to Kyla Castillo.
That first set win was Galeries telling us don't count them out yet. Sabi nga ng kanilang team captain, Alyssa Eroa, kailangan lang namin ng isang panalo, isang tsansa at sana magtuloy-tuloy na. Sa pagpasok ng second set, paalala niya sa kanyang teammates, walang magre-relax, wag magsawang magtrabaho. If they can maintain their momentum, well, they'll be tough to stop. Can the Highrisers exceed towering expectations today? Let's all find out via the Pilipinas Live app, available for only 149 pesos per month. Now back to you, Migs and Ivy.
I like the quote na walang magsasawang magtrabaho from Alyssa Eroa herself, because she's been an underdog for years already in the PVL. At some point pa nga, inisip niya na mag-retire nung nawala siya sa PLDT. Even tried out for a couple of teams, but it didn't work out for her. At some point, Ivy, as Galeries would score, Alyssa Eroa actually worked for a BPO company. Pawala na siya sa volleyball, but because of that never say die attitude, here she is blossoming in the PVL.
And I think, for most athletes, once, if you really have that, yung sinasabi natin, passion for the sport, whatever happens, you find yourself going back, being called back onto the court. And I think, as an athlete, that's one of the more important qualities really that you have. Yung parang how you work hard, your patience and not giving up, and which is the case for Alyssa Eroa.
As it is an attack error for Grace Bombita.
She's calling for a touch.
Yeah. It seems like there won't be a challenge. One last note on Alyssa Eroa, because I really laughed about it a lot with her before this game. Kinuwento niya sa akin na ready na nga siya magpamilya, mag-asawa. Ready to move on from volleyball at some point. Pero bumalik bumalik yung passion
calling you talaga diba?
Sabi nga niya sa akin, 10 years na sila ng boyfriend niya. Pero sa ngayon, balik tayo sa PVL. At, ang maganda naman ay paangat ang kanyang laro. It is 3-all. Ivy Lacsina. That was dug up by Sutata. And it's a point for Galeries Tower.
Hit. Point for Galeries.
It is 4-3 in set number 2. Franz Ronquillo back at it.
Ronquillo for the serve.
Total of 6 points for her in this game. How about Galeries continuing with their momentum?
5, serving 3.
And this is good to see here for Galeries. They realize really what's at stake here and performing very well. Akari, on the other hand, is struggling a little bit, trying to get their composure and their bearings.
Oh, that's outside. Service error for Ronquillo. Leading scorers natin, 6 para kay Franz Ronquillo at 10 para kay Oli Ocaro.
Serving for Akari, Ivy Lacsina.
Ivy Lacsina. Service inside. Eroa with a very smooth receive. Baliton almost scored. Back to Rosel. It's saved by Camille Cal. Soltones! Great activity by Galeries Tower, but it is a free ball for Akari. The slide, still no good. Ronquillo on the D ball. Oh, same angle on the other end, and there's no more chase for the Highrisers.
Almost a good pickup there from Eroa.
It's Oli Ocaro again responding to the call.
Lacsina.
She's the only woman in double figures so far. Ivy Lacsina. Off of her serve, it's Grace Bombita scoring her second point in the match. How about the elevation of Grace Bombita? Would you say na umabot na kahit papano? Unti-unti?
Well, she has, she's been doing well right now in that last hit and that last serve. Also speaks volumes of her performance today.
Bombita is coming off of a 12-point performance versus Cherry Tigo. That was in 4 sets of play.
Service,
Grace to
Bombita.
try to extend the lead. It is 7-5. Wanko receives. It's Oli Ocaro. That's outside. And that will send us to the first technical timeout in set number 2. Galeries Tower looking so good.
First technical timeout. 8, Galeries Tower. 5, Akari Chargers.
Back inside the Field Sports Arena for Akari versus Galeries Tower. So far, Galeries continues to have that driver's seat in this matchup. They're up 1-0 and 8-5 in set number 2 against Zoe, Faki's best friend. Itong si Oli Ocaro of Akari and the rest of the Chargers.
And
By the way,
technical
the
timeout.
season high or the conference high
Back at
of
the service zone.
Oli
Grace
Ocaro
Bombita.
came against Zoe Faki. Some extra motivation versus Choco Mucho. Nice dig by Eroa. He had something to say onto her opponent after that dig. And here's Dretzel Soltones. Mabilangan. Back row for Grays. This is a good chance for Akari. They send it onto the sliding Ezra Madrigal.
Slides and scores.
with that, we have a deadlock. Soltones serving it in. Mabilangan. Back to Ronquillo. The variety continues. Laksina. There you go. On cue.
Laksina with a draw. Substitution.
It's point number 8 for Ivy Laksina in this match. Able to score against 2 blockers. Shannon Palek is back in the game. It was a late sub in set number 1, which they won, by the way. 12-11, Mabilangan onto the middle. Palek couldn't score. Ravenna sending it to Okaro. Met at the net. That's a check.
Oluma, Okaro.
Here come the Chargers. Let's see if they can continue. It's a timeout for Coach Lerma.
Kaya Nudge, you play opposite. So France will block for the import. Okay? Okay? Oh, dito ka ha. Ayan, dalawa na kayo magbablock doon sa import ha. Ngayon, timingan mo nga kaso hindi naman naka-establish yung block natin. Sipagan natin, ilang 4 down na tayo dyan,
That's low key.
Pasahan natin.
Galeries,
So we're going to see a switch in positioning for the wingers of Galeries Tower. We're seeing Patrick Fran at the sideline with Coach Ronnie Magsanok. Great to have him or them here inside the Field Sports Arena.
13-11.
Let's see if Franz Ronquillo can help out in terms of the net defense for the Highrisers.
Soltones.
Eroa giving it to France, now attacking from the left. Ronquillo again, dug up by Danny. Oli Okaro against France Ronquillo. Oli continuing to score.
Off the block.
It almost worked for the blocking. Ronquillo going one-on-one against Okaro.
Substitution. Akari Chargers. 13 out.
Now we have
7,
Camille Victoria
in.
checking back in. She did start in this matchup. 14-11.
Service. Soltones.
This is the biggest lead in the game for Akari, but that serve was way too short for Gretzel Soltones.
Point for Galeries.
3-point now for Galeries with that service error.
Very uncharacteristic from Gretzel.
Serving. Sutata.
Sutata, service in. Laksina. Met at the net, but she will still prevail.
Laksina was able to push that in. The blockers,
15,
too much space between the blocker and the net.
Ivy has almost reached her first set output of 5 points. She has 4 in this set. Camille Victoria now serving. She hasn't scored as of yet. Ball up by Eroa. Mabilangan to Ronquillo. No point for her. It's Ivy. Saved by Ney. Eroa back to France. Block. Coverage by Palek. Bombita now sending it through. A good chance for Akari. Camille Cal. Oli Okaro. Yes!
Off the block.
Off the hands of the blockers.
It's just pure domination by Oli Okaro, who now has 16 points off of 13 attacks in this game. 16-12. The score at the first technical timeout was 8-5, but that was in favor of Galeries Tower. Ever since, it's been an 11-4 run by Akari, who have definitely charged up here at the middle part of set number 2.
Well, probably that first set loss became a wake-up call here for Akari. So like we mentioned here in this round, every win is important. And even any set that you win is also important. Because if in any case of a tie, of course, the sets won would matter.
One might even argue every point matters. Minsan nagtatabla din, not
That's
only
right.
by win-loss record, but by sets as well.
So you would want to win as much points ahead of your opponent in any game.
It is 17-12 off of a service ace by Camille Victoria. Ronquillo, she's been checked recently. Oli Ocaro, she hasn't been checked. And she continues to score.
Ball is out. Point for Akari.
6-point advantage now for Akari. Now, this is a better game here that they're playing. They're putting a lot of pressure now with Galeries. Galeries not able to execute a lot of attacks. They're being forced on errors on the reception as well.
There's the response coming from Shannon Palek. A much-needed point by Galeries Tower. That would be point number 1 for Shannon in this game.
Serving for the Highrisers.
Service in for Palek. Camille Cal kneeling set onto Laksina again with the off-speed.
Off-speed shot. Laksina.
Have we seen more off-speed drops from Ivy compared to her power hits?
That's right. So a lot of her hits are very much controlled.
We have Miss Kathy Chu of Akari enjoying the action at the sideline. Of course, she would be happy with her team's performance in set number 2. They're trying to pull away. This is their biggest lead in this game. Mitch Cobb, a good server, sending it inside. Bombita, through and through. Mitch with a save from the middle. And that would work for Ezra Madrigal.
Double contact. Hold on, Balito. Timeout.
It's a timeout for Coach Lerma. 20-13.
Mga control. Pag pumunta sa inyo yung bola, hindi nyo alam kung anong gagawin nyo. Ikaw, anong unahin mo? Dumipensa o mag-set? Eh wala pa ngang nare-receive, magsaset ka na agad. Pwesto mo yun, oh. Again, pag nangyari yung mga bola sa pwesto ninyo, hindi nyo alam kung anong gagawin nyo. It shows yung presence of mind, yung composure. Huminga kayo ng malalim. O, anong score? Tingnan nyo kung anong score.
Atin yung set.
Tingnan nyo kung anong score. Maging aware kayo, be at the moment. O, ilan ang habulin natin? Be at the moment. Pito. Habulin nyo yan, ha?
Kaya yan! Kaya yan!
With presence of mind definitely is the call here by Coach Lerma. So it's not, he's really pointing out how much they need to catch up because Akari is already on the 20-point mark. So this is a very crucial. And 7 points is quite a lot to catch up on. Well, it's not impossible, but it's going to be a challenge, of course, for any team.
Can they respond? Marcel Baliton was met at the net. Now it's Grace Bombita going cross, dug up by Danny. Mitch Cobb to the open. Ivy Laksina. Tough save by Satata. Bombita approaches. That was quite low. We shall continue. Ravenna. Back to Ivy. Going cross. No more save. And the lead is 8.
Ivy Laksina.
Let's take a look at that last attack. Laksina cross-court hit.
Ivy Laksina now has 11 points. That's a second score to reach double figures. And now it is a service ace, which is quite a normal thing for us to see from Mitch Cobb.
That's right. She is one of the more efficient servers, of course, in the league.
Absolutely no spin on that ball. Cobb now plays it short. So Tata with the first ball. It's Ronquillo attacking. Ravenna saving it. Great chase by Gretzel Soltones. Baliton from the middle. Dug up by Mitch. Eli Soyud's turn. Off speed. Yes. It's a double-digit lead for Akari.
The off-speed and tips are scoring points heavily here for Akari. Galeries not able to get to the ball fast enough. So we take a look at this last off-speed hit by Eli Soyud.
The run is now 15-5 for
Substitution.
the Chargers.
16
So let me check that.
Marciano. In.
18-5.
15. Bustillo. In.
Now we have the rookie, Stephanie Bustillo, inside the game for Akari, former Fighting Maroon. Was that in? Yes, it was. Straight onto the corner of zone 1 for Mitch Cobb. But we have a challenge.
Challenge called by Galeries Tower.
By the way, since we have blood time, it's really good to see Stephanie Bustillo versus Jewel Encarnacion in this game. Former teammates with the Fighting Maroons.
So this could be a, well, again, Galeries has a lot of points to catch up with, but with Akari, if they win this challenge, then definitely this would give them the more momentum moving on to the next set. An insertion of Michelle Cobb here to do the service has been a good move here for Akari. She scored how many points already there from the service line? 2 service aces.
You know, at the start of this conference, it was Mitch starting and then Camille Cal coming in these late moments. Now, the roles have reversed, but they're equally as effective as that serve was really sharp by Mitch Cobb.
Point and serve for Akari. Substitution, Galeries Tower. 8 out. 17.
It's like targeting a cone by the corner in practice.
You can see Michelle Cobb looking at the formation on the side of the gallery. So let's see which area she will be targeting now for her serve.
Short. It's Ronquillo challenging the net defense of Akari. And finally, it is a side out for Galeries Tower.
Point for Galeries.
But this is a tall mountain to climb.
14, serving 24.
It has to be Franz Ronquillo serving for the next 10 points for Galeries. If they would want to make it work, that's a start.
Good serve from Ronquillo.
15-24.
Serve. Ronquillo.
Ball up by Danny Ravenna. It's Janine Marciano who will end set number 2.
Off the block.
Gotta love that for Janine. It's a double-digit win for Akari. The second showing for this matchup. Off the block, straight down for Janine Marciano. It is 1-1 here inside the Phil Sports Arena. You're tied 1 set apiece for Galeries Tower versus Akari. Again, Galeries is still looking for its first victory in the conference, while Akari would look to protect its immaculate record of 5-0. In set number 2, it was quite a slow start for the Chargers, but since the middle part, it was pure domination for them, Ivy.
That's right. Once they tasted the lead, there was no looking back here for Akari. And they've had pretty much, been in control of the set. They're making Galeries really try to reorganize themselves, and they've seen those holes in the defense of Galeries. A lot of off-speed hits and tips we've seen in set number 2 from Akari, which worked very well for them. Galeries not able to read off of these attacks. As we take a look at the numbers, 20 attack points from Akari and only 9 was converted by Galeries. So that's a very, very good percentage here for Akari. 20 out of their 41 attempts in the attacks has been converted into points. There was no block points for Akari in the second set. Both did very well at the service line, 3 service aces. But take a look at the errors, and this time Akari managed to reduce errors from 8 to 3. But look at the errors also of Galeries on the other hand. They still minimize the errors. Only 2 errors committed in set number 1. So I think this is really one of the strong suits of the Highrisers, how they manage the errors. So while Akari maybe, was very dominant in set number 2, but they don't really give out a lot of those free points in terms of errors.
Can they continue to keep it clean in this game as we move forward in set number 3? Oli Ocaro leads all scores with 17. Ronquillo has 10 as the leading scorer of Galeries Tower. But the game's second leading scorer is actually Ivy Lacsina with 11 points for the Chargers. Going back to what Ivy pointed out, not Ivy Lacsina, Ivy Remulla, the services, the aces, it's 3 each. That is a good response to our Filipinas live poll question from our 2 squads as to which team will be able to win that department. They're right next to each other in terms of serving in our conference. Now it is Fen Emnas serving as the starting setter for Galeries Tower. Camille Cal back set to Oli Ocaro. That was a sharp hit.
Very high reach there for Oli Ocaro. Take a look at that attack. Very sharp cross-court angle.
That's why she likes the higher sets, because of her length after all. The other end, Marzan was met at the net. Lacsina will give up a free ball. Eliza Eroa onto the left. It's Sotadta. Good net defense by Akari. Lacsina sending it through. Eroa with the dig. Emnas onto the quick. It's saved by Gretzel. Ocaro tried to drop it to no avail. It's Franz Ronquillo. This is a long rally. Ivy Lacsina. Drop ball, no ma'am. Counter, Ronquillo. Dug up by Gretzel. Camille. It's Ocaro. Cross court.
Another excellent attack from Ocaro. Look at the whip and the wrist action.
The spike of the set is brought to you by Dunkin', ang pasalubong ng bayan. Oli Ocaro with her second point in this set.
And I think it's really best to appreciate, how these attackers really go for the ball. If you watch it live, you can really see how fast the swings are, how fast the wrist action is, and how hard they hit the ball.
So join us inside the Field Sports Arena. We do have 2 more games after this. It's a point, by the way, for Chulin Sudata. Our next game will feature Farm Fresh versus Signal HD, and then it's Next Led versus Capital One to wrap things up for your PVL Saturday. Marzan tried to send it through. That went outside. And now, let's go to Kyla Castillo.
That's right, Mix. Now, after that shaky start, the Akari Chargers were able to quickly dominate that second set. Call them fast Chargers, if you will. Now, prior to this match, I was able to talk to Coach Taka Minoa, who told me that when expecting from Akari, there is nothing. Sabi sabi niya, this is key in staying humble and hungry. By expecting nothing, they continue improving. Bigo pa niya, bawal daw ang attitude. Now, what changed in Akari during that second set was their energy. They started celebrating more and smiling more. And so coming into the third, Coach Taka asked the team to maintain a good body language. Now tuning it back over in this challenge.
It's a block touch challenge in set number 2, but do you have any comments about the energy as reported to us by Kyla?
Well, definitely, you know, the movement of Akari is very different from how it was in the first set. First set was a bit sluggish for them, you know, not a typical, but yeah, definitely more energy has seen in set number 2. And they've been moving faster, actually, in the second set.
As fast Chargers, after all. Thank you, Kyla, for that. Okay, let's see which team will win this challenge. We've seen quite a couple already in this game. This is early in set number 3, but might as well start on a good note. All right, touch or not. Did the hands actually touch each other?
But the ball did not touch the hand of the blocker, and I think that's more important.
Parang nag-holding hands lang. Mid-air ang ating dalawang players.
Galeries Tower is now left with one challenge for set.
So it is unsuccessful for Coach Lerma Hiron. Ezra Madrigal will now be serving. It's 3-1. Madrigal did not even play in their previous game, but she's been showing off in this matchup. Marzan with a drop.
Marzan with an off-speed shot.
That will be point number 2 in this game for Andrea Marzan.
Marzan serving for Galeries.
Now she serves that ball onto Soltones, Camille Cal, Oli Ocaro. Bueno pa lang, alam mo na. That's some great elevation.
And again, her contact with the ball is at the very top. So you can really see why it's hard to receive her balls. Hindi pahaba, patusok ang kanyang
Yes.
palo.
That's why she's number 3 in the league in scoring entering this matchup with 40% attack efficiency. Great net defense by Akari. Camille Cal and Camille Victoria. The two Camilles working together for that one. But it's Camille Cal got her hands on that ball. Oli Ocaro serving. 20 points already for her. And this is her conference best already in terms of blocking, by the way. 3 blocks. Victoria, a monstrous hit.
Victoria, middle attack.
That's point number 2 for Camille Victoria, but her first attack point in this game. Back with Oli. Iroa receives, and end us with a back set to Ronquillo. One more for France. Who's gonna win it? It's Akari.
No touch, according to our referee.
It's antenna. Ball is out.
It was the antenna who touched the ball, or which touched the ball. Yeah, it went there first, apparently.
Okada for the serve.
7-2. Akari with some good separation. Bombita is blocked.
Victoria with the block.
Excellent defense at the net being shown here by Akari.
First technical
It is
timeout.
8-2. We have a technical
Akari
timeout.
Chargers on
In the first technical timeout of set number 2, Galeries Tower led 8-5. Ever since, it's been a huge swing for the Akari Chargers. The run is actually 28-9.
So this is excellent work by Akari, where they were able to step up and reorganize themselves. And I think mostly, you know, managing to minimize the error helped a lot here for the side of Akari.
Oh, Renza Bando is watching the game alongside keeper Ravena at the sideline. It's good to have a couple of our national team players who have played as imports overseas as well, present here in Pasig City. Oh, that's a missed set. Double contact for Ben Emnas.
Substitution, Gallery 17 out, 8 Mabilangan in.
Rene Mabilangan now returns to the game. We have Oli Ocaro continuing to serve. Heroa receives. Ney goes to France. Blocked. Coverage by Lai. Bombita. Dug up by Danny. Back row hit for Saltones. Bombita again. Great approach.
Bombita breaks the block.
Good hit there by Bombita. She has been denied several times by the blockers of Akari. In this one, she was able to penetrate through the hands of the blockers.
I'm just really happy to see her play like this again, Ivy.
I agree. It's good to see her back on the court.
The previous conferences, kita mo yung ilang sa kanyang buelo. Bombita looking better. Almost back-to-back points for her. It's a miscue, giving up a free ball for Galeries Tower. Mabilangan onto the middle. Another save. Oli. Oh, it's a drop by Ney. Good read.
The Highrisers are actually doing a good job with long rallies. You know, they're able to keep their momentum. They're able to gather themselves back together faster than Akari can.
Let's see if they can get some momentum off of that point. They're still down by 5 in the set. Franz Ronquillo is now at the back row. Juanco receives, Cal sets, Ocaro hits. That's dug up by Sutanta. It's Bombita recalculating. That's a missed dig by Ivy Laxina.
Off-speed shot.
Chulim Sutanta's floor defense is exceptional, would you say? Doesn't even attack as much. It's mostly Ronquillo getting the balls.
But she has contributed a lot in the reception and the digs.
Camille Cal going to Ivy Laxina. Heroa puts it up. Mabilangan to Bombita. Blocked. Coverage by Lai. Ney goes to France at the back row, and it's a miscue for Akari.
Back row attack. France, Ronquillo.
4-point run for the Highrisers. They're just now down by 3 points. It's 6 serving 9.
It seems like the first technical timeout helped out for these Highrisers. Oh, that's a service error.
That sails out.
Unfortunate timing for France Ronquillo.
Serving 6.
Coach Lerma Hiron and company still looking for victory number 1 in their campaign.
Ivy Laxina serving
Ivy
for
Laxina.
Akari.
10-6. Ronquillo with the first ball. It's Bombita going cross. Laxina from the back. Grace again. Blocked. It's the two Camilles back at it.
Excellent defense at the net once again here for Akari.
By the way, Camille Cal has had
Service
2 great games in terms of her blocking. She had 3 blocks versus Choco Mucho and 3 as well versus Signal HD. Just unable to save that ball on the return by Galeries Tower.
Point for Galleries.
(7-11). This is Grace Bombita.
Grace Bombita for the serve.
Service inside. Laksina with the first ball. It's Soltones going cross. Bit of a chase for Ney. France, a miss hit.
Miscalculation. Point for Akari.
Well, that was an awkward angle for Ronquillo.
Yeah, she was going left. Then she had to target right.
Comes Victoria at the service zone.
Victoria now serving, 12-7. It's Rosel Baliton, met at the net. Cal, D-ball. Oh, tough dig for Alyssa Iroa. And a miscue for Galeries Tower.
Unfortunate circumstances there for the Highrisers. That was actually a good dig from Eroa. Not a bad setup or save by Yutada, but just the rest of the team not ready for that.
Tulungan tayo. Tulungan tayo. Okay? Hindi pwedeng magturo, hindi pwedeng magtawag ng pangalan akin. Kung gusto natin manalo, dapat ang isinusubo natin yung sarili natin. Hindi tayo pwedeng umasa kahit kanino. Dalawa kayo doon. Okay? O sige na, wala na mangyayari. Binigay nyo ng 2 yung puntos. Anong gagawin natin? Recover tayo. Let's go! Hey, Galeries! Compose.
What do you do but move on?
Yes. Composure ang
Definitely,
hinihingi ni
that's
Coach Lerma.
Because usually, you know, a lot, the galleries sometimes they find themselves, or they catch themselves unaware of the situation inside the court. So that was a perfect example on the last sequence that happened. It could have been, you know, a ball that they could even attack with, but again, the presence or the awareness inside.
There's the response from Chulim Sutata. That's point number 8 for her. She'll now be serving. Try to send us into the second technical timeout. Sutata tried to drop it. The ball was returned. Chulim again. Blocked.
Okaro says no
Pretty
entry.
much nowhere to go there for Chuilim.
That leads to
That is
second
point number
technical
21
timeout.
for Oli Okaro. Her 4th block in this game. 16-10. Yeah, the Farm Fresh Foxies present inside the Field Sports Arena. They will take on the Signal HD Spikers later on for our second game. And then for our last game, it's going to be Next Led versus Capital One. But now we focus on Akari versus Galeries Tower. There you see Jerome Lastimosa present at the sideline. He is supporting somebody here inside the Field Sports Arena. She will not be named anymore, but I think a lot of people know about it already. Congratulations to Jerome, by the way, for recently getting drafted by Magnolia in the PBA. He's actually seated alongside Renza Bando and Kiefer Ravena here in Pasig City. This is Gretzel Soltones serving. Back set onto Franz Ronquillo. And again, the net defense of Akari will prevail.
Akari is a #3 blocking team so far here in this conference. So no, not a surprise that we see a lot of points coming from the defense at the net.
That extends the lead to 7. There's a push by Satata. Danny Ravena giving it up to Oli. Saved by Eroa. Chased by Bombita. Satata sending it through. Good chance for Camille Cal. They send it to the middle. And there is...
That did not cross.
Point is awarded to Gallery.
Okay, a point for Galeries Tower. It was low for Ezra Madrigal. (11-17).
Serving. Yes, player Satata.
An over receive, and that's an easy drop for Andrea Marzan.
Guards the net. 12-17.
That is point number 4 for Andrea Marzan. This received by Ivy. She's going to get it back. Straight onto the back row. So Tata keeping it alive. Pompita is blocked again.
Madrigal with the ball.
The net defense of Akari really is working very well here in this set. Highrisers denied a couple of times already. That's how many blocks? 6 blocks here in this set alone.
And that is basically our difference. 18-12.
At the service zone for Akari.
Ezra Madrigal, short serve. Ronquillo pushes, Ocaro saving it. Camille Cal to Ivy Laxina. That's going to be a tough chase for Eroa. She keeps it alive. Free ball. Camille would choose. Ivy again. Bombita able to backtrack for that ball. And now it's Camille Victoria. Nice dig by Eroa. Ronquillo at the net. She will score.
Ronquillo off the block.
That's 10 attack points now in this game for Franz Ronquillo.
14.
Arlie Hernandez will now check in to serve. She did have a service ace a while ago. That was in set number 1. Former FEU Lady Tamarao
Hernandez at the service zone.
try to send that ball inside. They're down by 5 in set number 3. Camille Cal, Oli Ocaro. Again at the peak of her jump, she met the ball and down it went.
Substitution.
22 points now in this game for Oli Ocaro off of 18 attack points.
18 out, 24.
And she has been very consistent. The efficiency of her attacks, you know, she's converted most of her attacks into points, if not all, I think.
We'll check her efficiency.
Serving for Akari, team captain.
Mitch Cobb now back into serve. She was lethal from the service line in the previous set. Kabilangan going to Ronquillo. Dug up by Gretzel Soltones. Eli Soyud sending it through. Sutata going right. Ronquillo again. Soltones very steady with her floor defense. Ivy Laxina onto the back. It's Grace Bombita. Got a hand there. Cobb Ivy, off speed. Bombita saving it. Ronquillo. Another long rally. Back row for Gretzel, pushing it. A chase for Ney, but it was Eroa who sent it to Grace. Cobb. It's Gretzel from the back. Eroa, another dig. Franz Ronquillo, still no point. It's Eli Soyud, off speed, and finally, Akari is able to score.
Good read again from Akari. They've been seeing those spots and making it really difficult for Galeries to get back into position. You see that everybody has been scrambling, on the side of the Highrisers to get or to save the ball, and they're barely in position. And Elisoya decided with that off speed.
Timeout.
You gotta give it to all the players. It's been a long match because of these rallies. Great effort from both ends, 20-13.
She said seashell on the seashells. Last five. Money. Last five. Last five. And game tayo. Hello, Mike. Best pa-order po ng 2-piece chicken. Kanina, nagsinet mo kayo. Walang sander. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Guys, way to go. Akari Chargers. Last five girls, last five.
Don't you just love it when our players are so used to being on TV? They're used to these cameras and the microphones already. We have the attack efficiency, by the way, of Oli Ocaro on the screen, 50%.
So very high percentage or efficiency rate there for Oli.
Her average is 40%, by the way, and she's already #1 in the league in that category. So it's bound to increase.
Back at the service zone for Akari, team captain.
It is 20-13. Mitch Cobb. Sharp serve again. Mabilangan going to Baliton. Dug up by Mitch. Ravenna. Bump set. Cross court hit. Read well by Eroa. It's Bombita. Had to reach for that ball. Ravenna. Back to Ivy. That was quite confusing, but it still worked. Baliton. There was a check.
There was a touch. The point is awarded to Galeries.
For Galeries.
But again, no easy points in this match.
Both teams really have to work hard to get the point.
Serving.
Saltones with a nice receive. It's Eli Soyud down the line. She touched the net.
The net touch. Hold on, Soyud.
Free point here for Galeries.
15, serving 20.
Lead back down to 5. Franz Ronquillo, the top scorer of Galeries with 12 so far. That was sharp. Ivy Laxina, check ball.
Off the block, Laxina.
Ivy now has 13 off of that hit.
Substitution, Akari Chargers.
Now Janine Marciano returns.
Marciano.
She actually ended set number 2 with an attack point. Janine now serving.
Serving, Janine Marciano.
Ball up by Alyssa Eroa. It's Bombita. Met at the net. Ravenna going to Soyud. Cross court. Regalo para kay Camille. Victoria.
22.
Kill from the net. This is the over received by Ronquillo.
That's a rare moment, by the way, na may makita tayong mababaon na bola sa ating laro. 22-15. Bombita. Here's the counter by Soyud. Pushing it onto zone 5. Sudata keeping it alive. Same goes for Danny Ravenna. Called to the open. Gretzel Soltones. It's Alyssa Eroa with the dig. Franz Ronquillo. Janine and Mitch working well together. Soltones. Sotata. Again, still at it. Ooh. A set onto Bombita. Mitch Cobb going out to the middle. The dig by Lai. Ronquillo. Outside.
Ball is out.
Again, a lot of long rallies here in this match. So while maybe, we finish this off in just 4 sets, perhaps. But I'm sure that these players would have felt they played 5 extended sets.
Again, a big testament to their effort as Bustrillo returns in this match. It is 23 serving 15. Janine Marciano. Ball up by Eroa. It's Bombita. Blocked.
Sawyer with a block. Akari Chargers.
Blocking has been a theme after all for Akari in this set. That's now a total of 7 for them in set number 3.
Timeout.
We have a timeout for Coach
Galeries
Lerma.
Tower Highrisers.
Tactical tayo, Grace. Hanggat di kayo sumusunod sa pinapagawa sa inyo. Kung puro lakas lang ang aasahan natin dyan, hindi kayo makakascore dyan. Ang lalaki ng blockers. Okay lang sana kung ang tina-target mo itong mga fingers tsaka gilid dito eh. Kaya kaso solid eh. Kung nasa ng blocker, doon papunta yung palo mo. Ang magagawa mo lang dyan, check out, high ball, high check, nipis. Yun lang. Let's go.
It is 15 to 24. Everything has to be perfect for Galeries Tower moving forward here in set number 3. Janine Marciano will look to end things, much like what she did in set number 2. She will be serving.
Janine Marciano.
Ball up by Bombita. From the middle, that didn't work for Galeries Tower. Counter, opposite, Elisoyed, still no good. Bombita again. Ooh, a miscue for Akari.
With an off-speed shot. 16.
Bombita giving Akari a taste of their own medicine. Akari has been doing a lot of those off speeds for to Galeries.
Grace Bombita serving.
Bombita now serving. Go up to the open. Cross court for Bustrillo. Eroa put it up. And this is a good chance. The rookie. Hit by 2 blockers. Ooh,
Victoria.
what a winning point for Akari here in set number 3.
Probably not intentional to score a point, but it still did score the point for Akari.
Akari Chargers 25-16.
That counts Victoria with a drop, apparently, catching everybody off guard, including herself. And so Akari now has the advantage of 2 sets to 1 in this match. Back inside the Field Sports Arena. Last 2 sets were won by the fast Chargers of Akari, 25-15, 25-16. Although it wasn't fast. You saw the minutes, 27 and 31, because of the effort by both teams just to keep the rallies ongoing.
That's right. So if we've seen a lot of long rallies in set number 2, there were more long rallies in set number 3. A lot of high-quality rallies, actually, we've seen in this the 3rd set. It was Akari once again in complete dominance. They were in control for the entire set. They've led with a big margin, and they were able to close out also with a big margin. So a lot of it has to do with the efficiency or how well Akari is now able to convert their attacks into points. On the other hand, the Galeries, they're doing a good job defending the floor, keeping the ball alive, but not a lot of their attempts in their attacks are converted into points.
7 blocks for the Chargers and only 2 errors So they actually had more errors in set number 1 compared to sets 2 and 3 combined. Well,
So,
this is not a good number for Galeries.
That's right, that's right. So they were playing catch-up in the most part of the set, and the errors they committed are actually giving more momentum to the Akari Chargers. And Akari, on the other hand, is really taking advantage of the fact that they see the Highrisers are trying to, or they're struggling to get organize themselves inside the court. But again, we gotta give credit to Highrisers with excellent defense. They've been keeping the ball alive. And this lady right here, Okaro, has been giving them a hard time. 22 points already for Oli, and Ronquillo, on the other hand, 12 points, the highest scorer or the leading scorer for the Galeries.
It's 50% attack efficiency, by the way, for Oli Okaro in this game. But back to attack efficiency, we saw a total of 23 attack points combined for these two teams in set number 3. But we had an amount of 113 attempts for attacks in that set. That's a testament to the long rallies.
That's right. So it was one of the longest sets played here. And again, we've seen, if you've been watching the game, you've seen how long the rallies would have lasted. So it's not easy for these players. You know, probably we say 30-second rally or less than a minute might seem short to us, but when you're there inside the court, moving around in that even 30 seconds, that can really be very exhausting.
What say you, by the way, about the digs of Akari?
Well, that definitely, you know, it has improved the second and third set. That's also one of the reasons why they were able to win that easily. So a lot of opportunities created because they're able to keep the ball alive, more options in play.
I had to bring it up because they're entering this game, or they entered this game actually as the second to the last team in terms of digs.
Yes.
It's a big-time improvement for them as they would get the first point in set number 4. Let's see that previous sequence. It did not go through anymore for Isa Jimenez, who has returned after starting this game. We've seen a lot of Grace Bombita lately. Camille Cal onto Ivy Laxina. So Data gives it back to Isa. This is a chance ball. Soltones, Cal. Ooh, no connection with Madrigal.
Free point now for Galeries.
It is 1-1 in set number 4. Chualim Sotata will now be serving. She has 8 points in this game, but she's been quite active with her digs and receives. Already in double figures with her digging. Back set, Okaro. What's the call? There's a touch by Galeries Tower. But now, let's go back to Kyla Castillo.
Nasaan na yung Galeries na lumalaban kaninang first set? Yan ang tanong ni Grace Bombita kanina sa kanilang huddle. Breaks of the game keep on breaking Galeries' heart now to stop the bleeding. Sabi ni Grace, iwasan mag-default mode o yung mechanical na galaw. Especially during high-pressure moments, kailangan nila ng clear minds, mabilis na adjustments at wise decisions. Coming into this crucial fourth set, Grace reminded her teammates na hindi pa tapos, kaya wag natin madaliin ang mga galaw. Wag manggigil. Get closer to the game with the Pilipinas Live app. Spikes and stories, all for 149 pesos per month. Mix and Ivy?
It's the perfect reminder from the veteran, especially with a game that features a lot of rallies. No rally, though, in that previous sequence, as it is a service ace for Ezra Madrigal. That is her first ace in this match. 5 points in total for Ezra. It's 3 straight points for Akari. Encarnacion down the line.
Good hit from Encarnacion.
This is actually a rare sighting in this game to have Jewel Encarnacion teamed up with Isa Jimenez on the floor. Just saw the numbers of Max Wanko. Has been stepping up lately for Akari. That's a drop for Oli Okaro. Just have to be happy for Oli Okaro, who's definitely enjoying her stint with the Chargers. She's actually played for a couple of countries already, including Greece and Finland, but this is the closest team that she's been with as a reinforcement. Ngayon pa nga lang daw, nasasabi niya na mamimiss niya ang kanyang teammates when she flies back to the US. It's a point for Galeries off of that error by Akari. It is 3, serving 5. Isa sending it in. Camille Cal, back set to Oli Okaro. Tough dig for Alyssa Iroa. That has been the story of the day for her.
Well, she has been saving a lot of those attacks. She's been able to keep it alive. Let's take a look at that once again. Down the line, Iroa lifts it up.
Easy ball for Camps Victoria. 6-3. Encarnacion blocked. Which Camille got it? Was it Cal or Victoria? Check that later on. Now it's Ivy Laxina. Service inside. Attacking the middle. Rosel Baliton to zone 1. By the way, the block was by Camille Cal. That was her third in this game. Her third game with 3 blocks already in this conference. 4 serving 7. Ball up by Laxina. Camille opens up. It's Soltones targeting down the line, and there was a check. Akari continuing with its domination. They're up by 4 in set number 4. Jenny Tagawad is watching inside the Phil Sports Arena. We have a couple of Tamaraw connections here in Pasig City, but we do thank you for joining us as it is the first game of our PVL Saturday. Later on, we shall feature Farm Fresh versus Signal HD, and then next lead will take on Capital One for our final game. There is si Max Wanko. She's been playing well as the libero of Akari in this game. They're up by 4, 8-4 in set number 4. Camps Victoria, service in. Iroa receives. It's Rosel Baliton with point number 8 for her.
Back-to-back points there for Rosel Baliton.
I'm happy to see her thrive as a middle blocker as much as Alyssa Iroa is thriving once more with a double-double, 18 digs and 15 receptions. She's been quite consistent ever since she started playing for Galeries Tower. That was an attack error for Oli Okaro. Galeries with back-to-back points off of the first technical timeout. Service in for Cell. Camille Cal onto Madrigal. Here come the Highrisers. Camille Cal tried to score to no avail. It's Sotata dropping it. And no more save for Gretzel Soltones.
So just a 1-point advantage now for Akari. So both of these teams really playing very smart. the strategy really is just try to make it difficult for the defenders. You know, make the defenders scramble around the court, not give them opportunity to reorganize themselves.
Camille Cal going for a 1-2 play, the first of which in this game for her. But she already has 4 points off of 3 blocks as well. Camille had 8 points versus Signal HD. That's her conference high so far. Sudada, blocked, coverage present. Kabilangan, same attacker, cross court. That's Chulim Sudata with another point. And this spike of the set is brought to you by Duncan, ang pasalubong ng bayan. That's 10 attack points for the reinforcement of Galeries Tower. Service outside though for Ney Mabilangan. It's 10-8. Gretzel Sotones back at it. It's Sotata going cross. Ravenna sending it to Camille Cal. It's Okaro. Ooh, getting the point off of that miscue for Galeries.
And that attack touching the hands of the blocker made that point more difficult. Miscue on the side of Galeries.
Now it's a service error by Gretzel Soltones. Let's give an update for our fans, shall we, regarding our Pilipinas Live poll question. We've seen a total of 6 errors for Galeries Tower, while it's 4 for Akari. And then, as it is another service error for Galeries Tower, now I present to you the aces. It's 5 aces for the Highrisers and a total of 4 for the Chargers. But now we have a challenge. So this will either add to the aces tally or the errors tally. Although we would gladly take this, by the way. Only a 2-point advantage for Akari.
That's right. So Galeries still in a good position here in this set. We've seen them catch up to a much bigger margin.
That is inside. So it is going to be an ace after all. The first in this game for Chulim Sotada. She will get another chance. That trims the lead down to 1. Remember, Galeries only scored 15 points in set number 2 and 16 in set number 3. Sudata. Service in. Wanko over receive. Cal tried to save it. It's a violation.
That's an illegal attack by back row player. Point for
And she realized that as soon as she went for the ball,
sometimes you can still save it, but it's about timing. 11 all. Off of another over receive. It's another point for Galeries Tower, and now they have the advantage.
Galeries Tower Highrisers now up by
12-11. The reinforcement of the Highrisers from Thailand. Sutata. Sending it in. Laksina, first ball. Cal, back set. Oli Okaro down the line. Nice dig by Lai Eroa. And here's Camille Cal. Same attacker. A drop. Read well by Galeries. They go to Jewel. Encarnacion down the line. Still no point. Okaro reapproaches. The rally continues. Back set. Isa Jimenez blocked. And no more save there for Ney Mabilangan.
again, let's give credit to the defense of Galeries. It wasn't an easy point to earn for Akari.
You have another deadlock at 12. Ezra Madrigal Marzan couldn't score. Good coverage by Mabilangan. It's Isa Jimenez off the block.
Through the block.
At least this formula seems to work for Coach Mayron, having Jimenez and Encarnacion teaming up with Tanta as their wing spikers. Camille Cal backs it onto Oli. Off the block for her.
Off the block. Okaro.
Now Oli Okaro has 25 points in this game. This is her third best scoring output, behind her 38 points versus Chocomucho and her 31 versus Petrogas. But remember, in those two outings, the games reached 5 sets.
That's right, and we are only at the 4th set.
This is Mitch Cobb. Back to serving. A miss received by Sutata. Encarnacion sending it through. Cobb to the open. Ivy Laxina. Blocked. It's block point number 3 for Rosel Baliton, totaling 9 points for her. Mitch Cobb, back to Ivy. Off speed. Again, it's been more of those, or more of that compared to the power hits.
And it has been working very well for Akari.
No save for Isa Jimenez. Another deadlock at 14. Jump serve for Ivy. She's been working on that. Encarnacion, almost a point. Good save by Danny, but this is a chance for Galeries. Another save by Mitch Cobb. Push to the opposite. Ellie Soyed. Cross court. Dug up, and it's Jewel. Cross court again. Danny keeping it alive. Back row for Ivy. Another save. Encarnacion. Rejection.
Another good block from Victoria.
Lead back with Akari. Laxina, 16 points to her name, setting it in. Encarnacion now getting some retribution.
Encarnacion. 15 all.
It's point number 2 for Jewel. Which team will send us to the second technical timeout? Jewel sending it in. Mitch Cobb to the open. Soltones tried to swipe it. It was returned. Gretzel, different strategy. It's dug up. Sutata, no save for Mitch. And Galeries Tower will be the one leading us to the second technical timeout.
Second technical timeout. Galeries Tower Highrisers on top.
Back for Akari versus Galeries Tower. We have Dino Wong present at the sideline. Chocomucho will not be in action today, by the way. It's going to be Farm Fresh versus Signal HE in our second game. And it's Capital One versus Next Led in our final matchup. Ivy Laxina has 16 points to her name so far off of 13 attacks as the second leading scorer of Akari, behind the 25 of Oli Okaro.
End of our
Now it's Jewel and Encarnacion looking good in set number 4. They're up 16 to 15. Ivy with the first ball. Cobb pushes to the open. Off speed for Gretzel Soltones. Sotata dropping it. Ooh, that was saved by Mitch, but nobody was there for the second ball.
So this is a good response for Galeries coming off that technical timeout. We're still able to keep the momentum. They're up by 2 points, 17 serving 15.
Galeries would want a repetition of what happened versus Farm Fresh. They reached 5 sets in that game, while Akari has already seen the 5th set twice in our conference, winning them both versus Chocomucho and Petrogas. Here come the Chargers. Laksina from the back. Dug up by Jimenez. Sotata off speed again. Doesn't seem like the Chargers will be challenging that previous sequence. The varied attacks in this game. Camille Cal returns alongside Oli Ocaro. It is 18 to 15. Jewel and Encarnacion continuing to serve. Oh, that's an error, and that breaks their run.
It was actually a 4-point run there by Galeries.
There you see Coach Wewe Medina, who plays for VNS in the Spikers turf. Watch out for the men's division, by the way, on October this year. But we do have our national teams abroad right now, busy with their work. And speaking of being busy, that's Rosel Baliton scoring once more for Galeries.
It's good to see that the Galeries are able to activate their middles as well. But, you know, they have very good first ball, so there's a really high probability of plays being given out to their middles.
19 to 16, Baliton sits down. Carly Hernandez assigned as the service specialist in this game for Galeries Tower. That goes inside, straight onto Soltones. Back row for Oli. Blocked! How about that rejection? It's Andrea Marzan.
Big block there for Marzan.
Galeries with a comfortable cushion of 20 to 16 now in set number 4. Carly Hernandez back at it. Ball up by Gretzel. Camille Cal, Soltones tried to push it. That was deflected. Sotata met at the net. A scramble and another point for the Highrisers.
5-point advantage for the Highrisers. 21 serving 16.
That is 15 points now in this game for Sotata. Total of 6 coming in this frame. Service inside for Carly. Soltones to respond. These are the moments when your character would be tested. And speaking of character, wala na tayong duda dyan pagdating kay Gretzel Soltones.
Hitting that ball with a lot of confidence and scoring the point for Akari.
A misreceive. Sotata attacking. That was dug up by Gretzel. Now it's back-to-back points for the Lady Beast. You have to love it when a leader is just ready to step up in the clutch for you. You have a timeout.
So, huwag mo madaliin yung block mo. Huwag kang tumalon agad. Basahin mo muna siya. Kailangan natin yung guide eh. If ever tumalo na siya, pilitin natin i-close. Ha? Pero kailangan tumapat ka sa kanya. Kahit ma-open mo tong line. Isa, dumipensa ka ha, galing base ha. Oh, pasahan natin ang isa.
Isa, convert tayo ha.
Pasahan natin.
Now it is a much-needed side out for Galeries Tower. It's a momentum belonging to Gretzel Soltones and Akari.
That's right. While Akari may be down by 3 points, the momentum has shifted onto their side.
18-21
And a more positive body language actually being seen in the side of Akari.
That was actually the biggest switch for them since set number 2, as reported by Kyla. But now, it's a beautiful response by Sutada. That is point number 16 for her, and the lead is back up to 4. It's a full front line for Ney Mabilangan. She has Marzan, Sutata, and Jimenez up there. Cal Soltones, a miss hit. And the run is 9-3 for the Highrisers.
23-18.
Galeries Tower looking to survive for a chance to win its first game in the conference. Mabilangan sending it in. First ball, Ravenna. Camille Cal. That's Okaro with a strong hit. Dug up. And it's still, it was alive for quite a significant moment, but it's no more save for Galeries Tower.
Good dig from Hernandez.
Oh, if Carly had it turned around, he could have had the time to save it. 19-23, service in. Back set. No point for Isa, and here's the counter. Camille. Okaro dropping it again. The varied attacks working for the Chargers. The extra work has been worth it for Okaro, having spent more time outside of their practices with Camille Cal and Mitch Cobb for that connection.
Sige, pasahan lang natin. Tayo ang atake. Tatlong spiker natin. Ney, ayan, makinig ka sa play. Uy. Angat muna natin. Didepensa naman natin. Problema pa forward eh. Taas nyo lang. Para dito lang dito. Ma-recycle natin yung bola. Kahit out of system. Ha? Ngayon, pag may papalo, sipagan natin ang block. Malalaki yung blocker sa kabila, ha? Ikaw na sa unahan. Sipagan mo, ha? Hey, Galeries!
Well, I think no need to point out that they have tall blockers up against them. So this is really the challenge that the Highrisers have in how they would go through these tall blockers. And we've seen how efficient Akari has been defending the net. That is one of the challenges that's posed against the Highrisers.
Here's now 20 serving 23. Sutata blocked. Net defense coming alive for the Chargers. Remember, in set number 3, they had 7 blocks.
Soltones for the serve.
Soltones continuing to serve. It's 21-23. Sutata down the line.
Sutata down the line. Galeries Tower.
The Galleries are now at set point, and just one more point needed to extend this to a 5-set match.
It can be the second 5-setter for Galleries in this conference. Oli Okaro rising up to the challenge. 27 points for Oli.
22-24.
You could probably expect that most of the sets will be going to Oli.
Porsyento na at this point for Camille Cal. 22 serving 24. Ezra Madrigal. Followed up by Eliza Eroa. It's Marzan from the middle. And that's it for set number 4. Galeries Tower will extend this matchup.
Highrisers take set number 4. 25-22.
Coach Lerma Hiron experimented with a new lineup in this frame. It's all worth it for her as she claps for that victory, sending us into set number 5. It's 2-all for Galeries and Akari. we have a set number 5 for the Akari Chargers and the Galeries Tower Highrisers. As much as we have glorified their effort on the floor, giving us long rallies, this would definitely justify it that we would reach the 5th set.
That's right. So good effort on the side of Galeries Highrisers. You know, Akari, they played the same game, but Galeries, you know, they were just able to hang on and hold on to it. They were able to convert points as well. And they were, while the blocking of Akari was really on point in the 3rd set, the Galeries also was able to score or use that block to their advantage. A lot of block touches that scored a point for the Highrisers. But again, we really have to commend the defense of the Highrisers. A lot of those long rallies is because of their ability to keep the ball alive.
Attack efficiencies for our two teams in set number 4 were 36% for Galeries and 28% for Akari. Definitely a good sign for the Highrisers.
And the tables have turned in terms of attack points. It's now the Galeries with more points converted from those attempts, 16 attack points. But of course, no surprise with the 5 big blocks that Akari has scored over at the 4th set. In terms of the errors, both of these teams scored a couple of more errors as compared to the previous set. But again, it's really now a do or die. 15 points only here in the 5th set. So a more perfect game is needed for both of these teams. So not a lot of room for errors such as that.
Chulim Sutata has now caught up with Oli Okaro for quite a bit. She has 17 points as the leading scorer for Galeries Tower, but Okaro has dominated with 27. This is a 3rd best scoring output so far. Let's see which team can escape in set 5. Okaro. That was sent back. Akari with another chance. Oli tried to play it sharper, but that was wide.
First point of the set goes to Galeries.
Galeries getting point number 1. And as Ivy broke down, they still have a chance to get into the top 8. That is what you would want for yourself, because everything is do or die come the quarterfinals. Upsets will be very much possible. Sutata tried to drop it, saved by Cal. It's Gretzel Sotones, dug up by Eliza Eroa. Isa Jimenez, saved by Ivy Laxina. Back to Gretzel. Julian Encarnacion staying active. Andrea Marzan unable to score. Another long rally. Soltones will put it away.
Gretchen Soltones.
It is point number 9 for Gretzel Soltones off of 9 attacks in this game. She will now be serving.
Serving Soltones.
That goes inside. Sutata cross court. Dug up by Danny. Ivy Laxina. Her version of a cross. Pabilangan. Sutata again. Tough save for Ivy. Battle at the net. Okaro was able to push it through. It's Isa Jimenez. Straight onto the back. Saved by Akari. Laxina able to cross it. A beautiful read by Galeries Tower.
Good point there from Galeries. A lot of effort exerted by Akari just to keep the ball alive, and with that simple turn or return of the ball, Galeries was able to score the point.
Sutata serving it in. Cal had to chase that ball. Ivy Laxina. Nice follow through. Eroa sends it right. Isa Jimenez giving up a free ball. Camille back onto Oli. Tried to drop it. It was red. Galeries had Encarnacion attacking, but Laxina was able to send it back.
Advantage if you have the height. Just barely reaching a little bit over.
It's now 2s across the board for Akari and Galeries Tower. The Chargers are looking to keep their immaculate record. Gunning for win number 6. Camille Victoria sending it in and over receive, and that's the easiest point of the day for Oli Okaro. puts her up to 28 total points off of 24 attacks. 3-2. Ball up by Lai Eroa. Combination play. That was beautiful.
Excellent play from Galeries.
Nay Mabilangan told me that one of the greatest things that she has learned from her senior, Ben Emnas, is to execute that combination play even smoother. And it has been worth it so far. Here's the back set to Okaro. Net at the net. Great resiliency by Galeries Tower. Camille Cal to the open. Ivy Laxina drops it home. It's 18 points now in this game for Ivy Laxina off of 15 attacks. It is 4, serving 3. Oli Okaro. Ball up by Jewel. Baliton at the middle. Another point. Back and forth we go.
And this is how it's supposed to be because it's only a race to 15 and you wouldn't want your opponent to have a big lead.
Sel Baliton in double figures with 11. She's the third woman to reach double figures for Galeries. Bilangan goes to Encarnacion off the block. She will score. So in this game, it seems like Jewel Encarnacion is the magic buno.
So this is a good combination for Coach Lerma.
Lisa Jimenez almost had a service ace. A push. Straight outside for Oli Okaro. Galeries Tower now has a 2-point advantage in set 5. If the Highrisers pull off an upset here, this would be the best way for them to start round number 2.
Definitely against the ranked number 1 team.
Ivy Laxina has other plans. 19 points for her. She did have a ferocious reaction after that point. Can she continue now as a part of the back row?
Ivy Laxina serving for Akari.
Jump serve for Ivy. That's great to net. Encarnacion. Ball sent back. Battle. Ivy Laxina off speed again. Read well by Mabilangan. It's Encarnacion. The counter with Gretzel. Got a hand. Galeries will send it to the left. Lefty push by Jewel. The rally continues. Okaro had to soar forward for that one. And the ball went outside.
That's right. It was a difficult set there for Oli.
7-5.
They have a challenge. Ball in, ball out.
On the call by Akari Chargers.
The ball actually hit the linesman. Oh, this will be big, Ivy.
It can change things here if the point goes to Akari.
The Chargers have been in 2 set 5s in our conference with that reverse sweep versus Chocomucho and the same versus Petrogas. That was outside. So it's going to be won by Galeries Tower, which is playing its second 5-setter in our campaign. It was a loss versus Farm Fresh in their first challenge, but in that game, it was a different pattern because they won sets 2 and 3. Here, they won sets 1 and 4. Let's see if their fate would be different. Camille Cal, back to Gretzel Soltones. And that's going to work for Ezra Madrigal. It's a double touch by Galeries. Giselle Baliton admits to it. Coach Lerma looking for a big-time win here inside the Field Sports Arena. It's Ezra Madrigal who will be serving for Akari, not Camille Cal. A chance to tie for them. Iroa again with the first ball. Baliton sent back. Now to the left. Sutada. Another block. Coverage present. Chulim. Off the block. She prevails.
Very sharp angle there by Sutata.
8-6 now in favor of Galeries Tower. Our teams will switch sides. That's 19 points, by the way, for the reinforcement of Galeries Tower off of 18 attack points. Now we go back to Kyla Castillo.
Migs and Ivy, hindi na bago sa Galeries Tower Highrisers ang 5-setters, pero ang big question ngayong araw ay kaya-kaya nilang baguhin ang kanilang kwento at maiuwi ang kanilang unang panalo. 4 words from Coach Lerma Hiron: start strong, finish stronger. Doblehin, triplihin pa kung kaya ang depensa. If not able to block, at least deflect. And most importantly, umako ng bola at sa bawat palo, dapat buo ang kumpiyansa. Can the Galeries Tower Highrisers finally be able to break the curse and get a taste of their first win? Let's all see via the Pilipinas Live app. Back to you, Migs and Ivy.
It's finishing strong after all, which you mentioned at the start of this game for these high risers. They do have Chulim Sutata stepping up for them already. Her 19 points in this game has matched her output versus Farm Fresh in 5 sets. She actually had a triple-double in that match with 10 digs and 19 excellent receptions as well. Her conference high was 23 versus Cream Line. Let's see if she can do more, as the high risers are up by 2 points. Carly Hernandez will now be serving. Ball up by Ivy Lacsina. It's Gretzel Soltones, unable to score. Mabilangan pushes to Sutata. Sent back. Sutata said, mine. She got it again. Now it's Mabilangan pushing. Good save by Danny. Soltones, that was tight. Ravenna again with coverage. Soltones, deflection. Mabilangan with a drop.
It was a good rally, but you can see Victoria thinks she hurt her eye.
She is good to go.
But she was not able to move in that sequence.
Now we have a timeout. The score is 9-6 in set number 5.
Or you go in the front. Okay, we have a advantage. Okay, let's make advantage. Pass tayo. Goran, Goran.
Aggressive lang din sila. Maganda yung ginagawa. Aggressive lang sila.
Hey, it's not problem. Okay, it's already passed it. Focus on next ball.
Akari Chargers!
Akari now has their backs against the wall, down by 3 points in set number 5. They're in danger of losing their first game in our reinforced conference against Carlota, Carly Hernandez, and the rest of these Galeries Tower high risers.
9-6 is the score in favor of Galeries.
9-6. Carly to serve.
Hernandez for the serve.
Oh, that was low. A costly error for Galeries.
Point for Akari.
But they still find themselves in the lead, a 2-point advantage.
Let's see if that can swing the momentum
Camille Cal
for
serving.
these Chargers. Camille Cal with a full front row. Ball up by Eroa. They go to Marzan. That drops for Andrea.
Marzan.
Galeries Tower on the verge of winning their first game in this conference. At 5 points, that still is a mile to go in volleyball. You have Ney Mabilangan
Renee Mabilangan for the serve.
serving it in. Soltones with the first ball. Ocaro approaches. That was a hammer. Saved by Eroa. Soltones' turn. Dug up by Carly, a former libero herself. Sutata, in or out. The point belongs to Akari.
It was outside, but good defense on the side of Galeries.
8 to 10 now. Gretzel Soltones will be serving.
At the service zone, Gretchen Soltones.
She hasn't had an ace in this game. And that continues. Isa Jimenez, that went overboard. She wants a check.
We're calling for a touch. But everybody on the side of Akari raised their hand right away. There was no touch. So again, if this challenge would be a make or break for either of these teams, if it goes the way of the Galleries, they have a clear 3-point advantage. If it goes the way of Akari, it's now just a 1-point advantage.
So was Isa Jimenez right? Or were the Akari Chargers clean after all in that defensive sequence? Here it is.
Seemed clear.
How about the thumb? Okay, no
Yeah,
block
seemed
touch.
clear, so there was no block touch.
If the fingernails were longer, there
Could
might
have been a touch.
Unsuccessful challenge, and so it is a 1-point advantage for Galeries Tower. Gretzel Soltones will serve for the tie. Can they pull it off? Hernandez first ball. Mabilangan to Jimenez. Redemption for Isa. It's point number 6 for Isa Jimenez in this game. 2 coming in the set. They're all off of attacks, by the way. This is Satata Chua Lim serving to try to reach 20 points if she can score. Okaro, wow, with a lot of power there. That's 29 points in this game for Oli Okaro. 2 away to match her output versus the Petrogas Angels in 5 sets. Oh, that's a service error. The first in this set for Akari.
That can be a costly service error on the side of Akari.
Sel Baliton now returns to be a part of the front row of Galeries Tower. Hernandez will take a breather. Barbie Marzan now serves. Back set to Oli. Porciento. 30 points for Oli Okaro.
Need a point, so go to Oli. Why not?
The most efficient attacker in the PVL so far.
She now goes to the service line.
Serving for Akari.
11 serving 12.
That goes in. Combination play. That's what's good for Galeries Tower.
Very effective combination play here for Galleries.
13.
Gotta be happy for Isa Jimenez, who has definitely showed up and showed off in this game. 13 to 11. Ball up by Danny. It's Ivy Lacsina's turn. Off the block.
Off the block.
Akari keeping it tight. Lacsina also has 20 points in this game. She's the second leading scorer.
Serving for Akari. Ivy Lacsina.
Try to give us a deadlock. Oh, service error number 2 for Akari.
For Galeries.
The throw was a bit off for
Galeries
Lacsina.
Tower Highrisers.
It's now match point for Galeries Tower.
14 to 12. Marina Tushova has been big time in this conference for Capital One. Let's see if Galeries Tower can rise up to the occasion. 2 match points. Ball up by Danny Ravena. It's Gretzel Soltones with a hammer.
Says not yet.
Excellent hit from
13,
Soltones.
14.
Are we gonna see an extended set number 5? Or will this be the finisher for the Highrisers as Janine Marciano will check in for this very crucial serve?
9, Marciano. In.
Very important service now here for Marciano. And this is where experience comes in. All she needs to do is just put this over.
13 serving 14. That goes in. Received by Lai. Chualim is blocked. Coverage present. A good chance for Akari. Camille Cal goes to the open. Soltones again. Back-to-back points for the Lady Beast.
Set 14.
Soltones hammers that in. Too strong for the defense of Akari.
It is clutch time for Gretzel Soltones after all. 14 all and extended. Set number 5. Marciano. Service in. Mabilangan to the middle. Baliton. Still no point. Soltones off speed. That was blocked. Gretzel sends it back to the middle. This is a free ball for Galeries Tower. Mabilangan. Back to Rosel. And that's outside.
It was a good play for Galeries. Unfortunately, that went out, but a challenge will be called for ball in, ball out.
By Galeries Tower Highrisers.
Might as well, if you're Coach Lerma Hiron. This will determine which team will get match point. Something's happening on the court. Galeries is pointing onto something. From my understanding, may umami ng check ball. But no one's pushing through with it.
And there was no call from the referees, of course.
Coach, kasi ang challenge is ball in, ball out.
That's right. The challenge card was ball in, ball out. Can't change it anymore. Oh! It still works for Galeries Tower. My goodness.
Challenge.
Talk about lucky break here for Galeries.
For Galeries.
Could have been either way. It would go still on their side. Because if there was really a touch, then the point goes to them. But the ball is still in, so the point is still in favor of Galeries.
The ball barely met the line for Sel Baliton.
And that's really by a hair, literally.
Yes, this is for the match. Ball up by Ivy, not the best of receives. Soltones again. Gretzel Soltones is everything right now for Akari.
When you needed the points, and again, it's clutch time, and she is delivering.
12 points. 4 in this set, 3 in the clutch for Gretzel. Tied at 15. Camille Cal sending it in. Nay Sotata answering back. 20 points for Galeries. Reinforcement, and that's off of 19 attacks.
It is still not over. It's match point now for the Highrisers.
16-15. Soltones. Yes.
Finds the line.
4 clutch points for Gretzel.
16.
It is 16 all. We have a timeout before we proceed.
Galeries Tower Highrisers.
Yung blockings natin ang problema, nakakailan na si Soltones doon. Bumitin na yung yung set. Bakit ang blockings natin nasa dulo pa rin? Again, yung guide. Yung wing ang mag-guide dyan. O ngayon, pasa tayo. 3 spiker. Ituloy nyo. Paikutin mo. Okay? Isa.
Coach, pag galing pasa, tapos tatakbo. Isa, tiwala.
Kaya mo! Kaya yan!
Tayo, cover tayo, cover. Tayo, atake ha!
Tingnan mo rin to. Initial attack tayo.
Hey, Galeries! Tayo, atake.
It has to start on defense for Galeries Tower. First, they have to counter the serve of Gretzel Soltones. It is 16 all.
We are at deuce at 16. Serving, Gretzel Soltones.
Soltones sending it in. Dalawa, first ball. Mabilangan, back set to Isa. Met at the net. Camille Cal keeping it alive. Okaro approaches. Marzan putting it up. Mabilangan. That's Chulim, who couldn't score. Counter with Oli. That is outside.
Akari calling for a touch.
And they will challenge.
There's a challenge on the call by Akari Chargers. Block touch.
So now it's Oli Okaro's turn to be the hero for the Chargers. After it was Gretzel Soltones just a while ago. Another crucial challenge for us in only the first game for your PVL Saturday. This is the beginning of our crossover, round number 2. Touch or not? Oh, there was.
There was a touch on the fingertip. Point goes to Akari.
There is a block touch.
Now they have match point.
Challenge is successful.
The Akari Chargers looking for the third 5-set win
Chargers
in
at
their
match
campaign.
point.
This is their first match point. Soltones. Ball up by Encarnacion. Mabilangan back sets. Jimenez kept alive by the Chargers. Oli Okaro. Galeries still there. Akari back to Oli. Cross court, and that's it. Oli Okaro will end the game with 32 points for herself. And it is another victory, number 6 for the Chargers in this conference.
Hard-fought game here for Akari, and Oli able to seal the deal.
This Panalo play of the game is brought to you by Yakult. Yakult every day, okay. What a game that was by Galeries Tower and Akari. The Chargers remain undefeated. Galeries will go down to 0-6, but this should go down as one of their best games in the conference.
And it's while they lost, but at least it was in 5 sets. So again, like we mentioned, you know, all of the winnings you can get, regardless of whether it's a game or in a set, would count or would matter. But it's going to be more challenging now or difficult for the Galleries to move on forward.
So we conclude set number 5 in 26 minutes of play. Final tally is 18-16. Akari Chargers continuing their dominance in our tournament, although they had some lapses in this game in sets 1 and 4, able to recover. And we do have to give some shout-outs. Gretzel Soltones had 13 points in this game, a couple of clutch moments for her, but our best player is Oli Okaro, who finishes with 32 points, including the game winner.
And she has been stellar from the start up until the finish. 28 attacks, 4 blocks. The consistency of her game, or efficiency of her attacks in this game is really exceptional. So she has been a very big threat, you know, for Akari.
This is her second best scoring game of the conference. Up next, we will feature Signal HD taking on Farm Fresh here inside the Field Sports Arena. So do not go away. Thank you for joining us. For Kyla Castillo and Ivy Remulla, my name is Mix Gomez. And we have 2 more games for your 2024 Premier Volleyball League Reinforced Conference this Saturday.